When I tell people how much protein they need to be getting in their diet, I get one of two reactions. Either their eyes go really wide. You can't see right now because I've got my sunglasses on. My eyes are really wide. I'm doing an impression of someone after I just told them how many grams of protein they should be getting in. I either get that, I get the wide-eyed deer in the headlights look, or I get the mouth open, confused look because they don't even know what that means. They have no point of reference for that many grams of protein. Well, we're going to talk about them both. Chances are, if you're probably not getting enough protein in, and the only reason I know that is because you're alive and you're breathing. Hey, I'm Dan Adams, personal trainer, construction worker. I do a little framing on the side, music connoisseur, art connoisseur, sort of. Mostly a personal trainer, part-time political scientist, political analyst. I was actually going to major in political science in college, and then I switched to history. I'm also a history buff. Then I realized that college is a scam, and so I dropped out, much to the chagrin of my mom. She was very sad when I told her I was dropping out of college to be a trainer, because that's where the money is, am I right? It could be. Boy, she was sad. Of course, I don't know what I was going to do with my history degree. I didn't want to be a teacher or whatever. Yeah, I've got a lot of experience in many different fields. I've got my finger in lots of different pies. My chosen field is fitness and nutrition, so that's what we're going to talk about the most today. But I also believe in not being an idiot. So at the end of these, stick around to the end. I'll give you a little tip about our U.S. government that maybe you didn't know. All right, we're going to find out if you're smarter than the average voter, because brains before gains. That's what I always say. In fact, I think that we talk about the obesity crisis happening right now in America. Maybe we're not talking enough about the stupidity crisis, because there's a lot of really dumb people. Actually, we talk about that too. I hate it. Total side note. I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole for just about 30 seconds. It drives me crazy when people do the whole, no one's talking about X. Just put whatever you want there. Put any subject there. And people say, no one's talking about this. No one's talking about nutrition and fitness for postmenopausal women. No one's talking about the low reading standards in such and such states or this city or whatever. No one's talking about, no. Everyone's talking about it. Someone is talking about it somewhere. I guarantee you. I'm tired of the whole, no one's talking about, nope, someone's talking about it. Pick any random subject. Someone's talking about it. Erectile dysfunction among North American black bears. Someone's talking about it. I swear. Google it. I dare you. Google erectile dysfunction among black bears in North America. I dare you. I'm sure it's a thing. So I'm not going to say no one's talking about the obesity epidemic or the stupidity epidemic. Suffice it to say, I want to talk about them both. Not today, though. Specifically today, we're just going to talk about how do you get all your protein in? Because you need more protein in your diet. If you're living, breathing, exercising, doing anything, and honestly, even if you weren't exercising, it would still be to your benefit to work in more protein, specifically some kind of animal product or just something, some kind of minimally processed food. So that could be your nuts or seeds or vegetables. Those they have protein in them. It's not a complete protein, so it's probably not going to be your best bet. But if you're a vegan or vegetarian, you can still make it work. Sometimes the vegans and the vegetarians just, almost die. They look like they've spent years being corrupted by the One Ring. They look like butter spread too thin over toast. But not all of them. Some vegans thrive. So if that's your thing, go for it. My thing is I eat a lot of meat, and I encourage people to eat a lot more meat. One, because it's delicious and it's satiating, and if you're eating a lot of it, you're less likely to eat crap. When I say crap, I mean uber duper, super duper processed TV dinners, chips, candy, anything with sugar, frickin' cold cereal, which is basically just candy for breakfast. Thanks, Kellogg's. Thank you, Kellogg, for Minister Kellogg or Friar Kellogg or whatever he was. He was some kind of a religious leader. Thank you for convincing an entire generation that eating more meat causes young people to masturbate more. Thank you for that. It's a real thing. Look that up. Suffice it to say, get more protein in your diet. The way to get more protein in your diet is eat more meat. That's the easiest way. And I'm going to tell you, that's how I do it. So how much protein should you be getting in your diet? 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight or target body weight. If you're a 120-pound girl and you don't want to, you're not trying to lose weight, you're trying to build muscle, 120 grams of protein or more, maybe a little bit more. If you're a 200-pound guy and you're trying to put on muscle, I would even go more than 200 grams of protein. If you're trying to put on muscle, you're going to have to gain weight. So let's say you want to get up to 210 pounds, 210 grams of protein. If you're overweight, if you're a big fat guy, 250 pounds, and you're trying to get down to 200 grams of protein. So 1 gram of protein per pound of target body weight. A piece of chicken that's about the size of a deck of cards. Here's your point of reference. A piece of chicken about the size of a deck of cards. That's, 20, 25 grams of protein, maybe 30. It depends which scale you're looking at. Somewhere in there, though, about 20 to 30 grams of protein. If you want to get real exact, you have to look at the type of meat you're eating, because chicken thigh is going to have a different composition to chicken breast, or what cut of beef you're eating, or if it's pork. Pork is generally a much higher in fat, lower in protein. So there's a lot of things to consider. But these are just general guidelines. These are the general guidelines that I follow, because who's got time to pull out the scale and weigh all of their food? Depending on how serious you are, I don't discourage you from doing it, but if you're like most people, you don't have time to weigh your food. So we're just going to go by sight. What can you see in front of you? If it's the size of a deck of cards, it's probably anywhere from 20 to 30 grams of protein. Err on the low side, I always say. That way you'll be sure to always get enough. My day starts out with some chicken thigh. I grill me up some chicken thigh. And I grill up quite a bit of it. It's about 50 to 60 grams worth of protein. Again, I like to guesstimate on the lower side. So 50 grams, let's say 50 grams of protein. That's my breakfast, the chicken thigh. And then later in the afternoon, I'll have a protein shake. I take a big container, I put in some water, I put in 2 scoops of protein. Each of those scoops of protein are 25 grams. So about 50 grams of protein right there in a protein shake. And I drink that. That's another 50. Holy cow, I'm already up to 100. I'm up to 100 grams of protein, and we're barely halfway through the day. And then mid-afternoon, that's basically my lunch. The protein shake is my lunch. I don't follow the traditional. That's one thing to think about. If you're trying to, do this special diet that most people aren't doing, you have to eat differently than most people. So you're not going to be following the breakfast, lunch, dinner pattern. You're going to do like breakfast and then maybe nothing for the rest of the morning. Then for lunch, just do a protein shake or some kind of high, and then a mid-afternoon protein snack, and then dinner, and then a later protein, whatever. You'll see as I explain more. So I've got the chicken thigh for breakfast, 50 grams. I've got the protein shake for lunch. That's another 50 grams. We're up to 100 grams. Then this is something that's kind of unique to me. You don't have to do this, but this is just, I'm giving you ideas. I'm just showing you that it can be done, and it's actually not that hard. For mid-afternoon, I'll eat a couple of those tuna packs that you get from Walmart. The ones, I don't remember the brand. If you go in the tuna section, you'll see them. Just these little tuna packs, and you can rip them open. And each one of those, I get the ones that give me the most protein for the amount of calories. So on the top, it'll say how much there is. In one of those packs, there's 17 grams of protein. And I'll eat 2 of those in one sitting. So there's 34 more grams of protein right there. And then, because tuna's kind of gross, I'll wash it down with some Greek yogurt. The Greek yogurt, if you got a sweet tooth, the Greek yogurt is going to be your best friend. Well, the Greek yogurt and low-calorie diet drinks. I like those too. Those things will help you, though. In each one of those Greek yogurts, you're getting about 12 grams. So that's 46. Yeah. That's 46 grams in one sitting. We're now up to 146. We haven't even eaten dinner yet. For dinner, I like to eat me some eggs. And I'll have 4 or 5 eggs. 5 eggs, let's say 5. That takes us up. The average egg has about 6 grams in it. So 5 eggs, 5 times 6, 30 grams. There's 30 grams for dinner. We're now up to we're up to 176. Yeah, 176. Yeah, 176. I said that right. But we still have 24 grams to go before we hit 200. This is how I get my 200 in. I'm always going for 200. 2 more Greek yogurts. Wait a little bit, though. Now, there's some discussion over whether your body can absorb, how much protein can your body actually absorb in one sitting. For a long time, a lot of people were saying only about 30 grams at a time. We think it's a lot more. We think it's a lot more than that, depending on how much you're exercising, how big of a person you are. Like I said, I'm taking in as much as 50 to 60 grams per sitting. But I still want to try and space it out over the day the best I can. I get to the end of the day, I'm at 174 or 176, and I still need a few more helpings of protein. Greek yogurt. I just eat more Greek yogurt. 2 more packets. Really easy to down. Or I'll have a Greek yogurt with my eggs. Again, that'll be my dessert. And then later that evening, before I go to bed, I eat 1 more thing of Greek yogurt. 200 grams of protein. Roughly. I didn't weigh anything. I didn't look at anything. But, well, actually, that's all I did was I looked at things. I read the labels. As far as my chicken went, I just guesstimated. As far as my eggs went, I guesstimated. But you know what? Good enough. You're not competing in a competition. You're just trying to build some muscle and get stronger and live better. And that's how it's done. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do it that way if you don't want to. If you don't like tuna, don't eat the tuna. Eat sardines, which are even grosser than tuna, but still the same thing. Same idea. Beef jerky. Beef jerky is a great source. A little more expensive, so you're going to drop a lot more money on beef jerky than you would on tuna. That's the downside. But if you like the beef jerky, I'll get one of those family packs of beef jerky, again, at Walmart. Love Walmart. I'll get one of those big packs of beef jerky, and there's 11 servings. Let's see if there's 10 servings. There's 10 servings in one of those packs of beef jerkies. And 1 serving has 11 grams of protein. So if I just eat half of that, if I eat half that pack of protein or half that pack of beef jerky, that'll get me up to 55 grams in just one sitting, half the bag, and then I eat the other half the bag the next day. And you could divide it out differently. I'm just giving you ideas and showing you that it's actually not hard to hit all your protein if you know what to eat, when to eat it, how to eat it, and if you're not too concerned with taste. That is the downside to everything I just told you. The tuna is not that good. The protein shake is not that good. The chicken thigh is pretty good if you eat it with Chick-fil-A sauce, which I do. I'd say, it's so high in calories. Well, if this is your diet's already so low in calories, you don't need to worry about the Chick-fil-A sauce. And I don't slather it in Chick-fil-A sauce. I just lightly dip it in to give it a little flavor. There it is. Get more protein in. If you got more questions, ask me. How are you getting your protein in? If I'm really trying to keep my calories down, I might skip the eggs and just have another protein shake. I don't recommend that. Eggs are very nutritious. It's good to get a variety of things in your diet. Don't just try and live off of protein shakes. It's just a terrible way to live. If I was trying to break a prisoner of war or a terrorist, some terrorist, he's got a bomb somewhere and we're trying to break his will. One, we wouldn't let him sleep. The second thing we do is we'd only feed him protein shakes and tuna. He would break eventually. And then if that didn't work, we'd start messing with his teeth. But that's getting a little more dark. I won't get into that. Okay. So, let's get to the brainy part. What kind of government do we have? Are you smarter than the average voter? What kind of government do we have? Tell me. If you say democracy, I understand. I understand why you'd say that. I used to say that not too long ago. Well, we live in a democracy. It's everyone's favorite political buzzword. Democracy, democracy, democracy. Well, that and communism. That gets people riled up when communism gets mentioned. Gets me riled up. But democracy, everyone loves talking about democracy. We live in a democracy. Democratic values. It's not really a democracy. You're only about 30% correct when you say it's a democracy. Because we do get to vote. That's true. We, the people, have a say in how the government functions. But we are not directly voting on legislation, especially federal legislation that affects the whole country. No, we elect representatives. We, the people, elect representatives to go and represent us at the federal level, and then they go and they vote on stuff. So we are a republic, a democratic republic. Or you could call it a constitutional republic, because we also have a constitution that tells everybody how they have to do things, theoretically anyways. How well our people are actually following the Constitution, that's up for discussion. But suffice it to say, we're not really a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. If you want people to think that you're just so smart, if our system of government ever gets brought up, just say, "Oh, we live in a constitutional republic." Actually, be the actually guy. You'll be the life of the party. Actually. Yeah, we have a constitutional republic. Now, there's a few reasons for that. The first one is direct democracy is just really messy when we're talking about a country of 350 million people. Now, obviously, we didn't start out that way, but there were still a lot of people in America and the colonies at the time, in the 13 colonies. And direct democracy is, it's messy. We could probably figure it out now with our modern technology. Everybody would just vote on an app. But no. Here's the other problem with a direct democracy. The people are retarded. We are not a very informed people. A lot of people with very strong political opinions, and they don't even know. They didn't even know that we have a constitutional republic, and they can't name the 3 branches of government. You can, because you've been listening to this channel. Legislative, judicial, executive. But you've got all these people and who don't have, some people, in all honesty, it's hard to be informed on all the issues if it's not your full-time job. So we elect people who we at least hope align with us politically and ideologically to be the ones who are going to be informed enough to make good decisions and vote on our behalf. So, we live in a constitutional republic. You could also call it a democratic republic. There you are. You are learned. I'm Dan Adams. Go forth, my fitnocrats.